What's up YouTube? I'm Taylor and I hate mosquitoes. Welcome back to the channel. You know the deal. Hit that like, comment, and subscribe button as well as that bell notification button so that way you stay up to date on any time I post a video. Alrighty, today we're getting back into the 1979 CX500. Here we've got a lot of parts that came in, a lot of hardware, throttle slide, carb rebuild kits. We're going to try to get as much done on this today as possible, so that way we can go ahead and get this back to the customer. Alrighty, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so we've got all of our parts unboxed here. We've got all the different hardware that we'll get into. We have everything for a complete total carb rebuild kit here. We have trip machine leather grips, so that'll actually be really cool. I'm excited to put those on. We have the rear tank rubber, and then a throttle slide finally. So we are going to start with the hardware and start with this. Then that way we can just see where we're going with in regards to the carbs, and just go from there. We have a little metal bushing that sits in there just to help brace that a bit. And we have a big washer on a bolt, goes through that, and if it's the correct part, it should thread in there. And those threads are definitely gunked up and will need cleaned out. Got a tap and die set here. Basically, we're just figuring out what size bolt goes in this. That way we can tap it out and make sure it fits. And we're just going to clean up these threads a little bit, just because there's powder coat in here. So for reasons like this, when you are painting a frame like this one has had done, you want to be able to actually thread your bolt in as it's supposed to go. So my recommendation is to just tape it off. So when you're tapping a hole like this, you want to just, tighten it down, but then also work it back. You don't want to force it. Slowly but surely.
And don't call me Shirley.
We still need to go up a size. We will try that. The idea is if you don't have it right the first time, just keep working at it. Hopefully I don't have to retap all the holes for the tank hardware and the seat. That's the hope. see how that bolt fits now. That's what we want. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through and make sure that all the other hardware is just lightly screwed in where it needs to be. And that way we can figure it out. Or we can undo it just quickly as needed. I'm going to do a socket set for that. Or rather, ratcheting wrenches. Okay, that one's on. Now the next thing to do is, okay, so these are the washers for that. One washer goes on the other side. Okay, nuts are 14 millimeter as well. Okay. I really wanted to make sure that all the hardware for this radiator fan attachment or fan shroud was present before I thought to ride this, just for safety's sake. So that was the reason why I got these. I'm sure it's probably fine for the most part, but I'd rather be safe than sorry and have the bike complete and not miss something, you know, and then that caused more damage down the line. Especially with this being someone else's bike. I don't want them coming back and saying I skipped some steps. Which it's fine if I do. But that being said, I want to make sure that I'm doing the best job possible that I can do for the customer. The other bolt goes in here. Now we have two tank bolts. Those go right here through rubber bushings on the tank itself. And if I was correct with my parts ordering, we have two bolts for the seat to hold the seat on. So let's check that. Oh, that's going to need tapped out too. So hopefully it's the same size and I don't have to go hunting for another tap. First seat bolt is in. Come around to the other side here. And we're just going to go ahead and make sure that this one's cleaned out too. While we have the tap and die set out. I really think it's going to be a cool bike though. Once this is all said and done, I think the leather accents with the kind of rusted tank. It's got a little bit of surface rust on the tank. It's good patina with the blue and white wing on the side of it. Be pretty neat, I think. And the seat too. It's like a Mexican blanket as the seat, which I think is pretty neat.
How neat is that?
So far, we got this side, or the right side, bolt in, left side, Left side needs cleaned up a little bit. Okay, left side's in. At this point now, all the hardware that we ordered is on the bike, which is awesome. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and get this front handlebar control tore off the bike here, get the throttle slide swapped onto here, hook up the cables, and we'll see if we can't get her to run on her own. Kind of hopeful. So we'll see though. Got the throttle slide out. Now there are 2 screws holding this throttle switch assembly to the handlebar. So I'm just going to go ahead and undo both of these screws and see what's going on here, because this, I was about to say, so this thing that's on here, I was like, there's no way that this is doing anything, because I mean, it's just on there. It's like a piece of plastic tubing or something. And I'm not even sure why it's on here, to be completely honest, because there was no way to attach the actual throttle cable. So if you can see here, your actual throttle slide has this piece on it that you can hook your throttle cables into, and then that wraps around and goes down the cable to your carburetors to actually activate the carb slide to go up and down. So that's junk. I'm not sure what it was doing on here to begin with. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take the actual throttle cables themselves and hook those up. And to be completely honest, I like one of these cables better than the other one, just because it has a means to tighten it without rotating the whole thing. Okay. So, all right. I'm going to figure out how to get this throttle cable detached right here. That way I have a little bit more wiggle room to install this in here where it needs to go. So I was able to get that one in just by kind of, very sketchily. Let me take this one back out. I'll show you. There was enough wiggle room that I could just kind of rotate it around without bending the wires. That way that's good, and then that still leaves the final adjustment. Same thing with this, except this goes all the way in, and it's got this little adjuster screw nut right here, and that bottoms out just to hold that in place. I'll get that one tightened up as soon as everything's all back together. So I am noticing though that one of these is a little bit more wallered out than the other. And both of the cable ends are the exact same size. So in in order to get this to work, I think I'm going to have to crimp some plastic or metal or something around that so it doesn't fall out. That should work now. I'm going to go ahead and put the screws back into the handlebar controls. The longer one goes up front. And that one gets tightened down all the way first. Then the rear one. We're getting the cable to return to, which is good. That's what we want. Cable probably needs a little lube. It's okay. Okay. So we need a little bit trimmed off of here. Not a big deal. So what I'm doing is just measuring how long the bar ends are sticking out. So that's about a little over 11 inches. And it's about a ½ inch more than 11 inches. So I'm going to, but that's also because of the bar end mirror over here. We're going to go ahead and chop the old handlebar grip off. And I just do this by, sorry, I forgot where I put the camera. I just do this by running your knife all along the grip, and cutting that off. Okay. The last thing I want to do is check and see how close to the bar end, towards the center. It's 3 3/4. So the other side handlebar controls, left side, can actually get shifted up the bar 1/4 inch. And they're not Phillips or JIS, they are Allen keys. Just custom bike stuff. You never know what hardware is going to be used. And I'm just cracking that enough that it can slide for me. 3 3/4. Okay. That's right where that needs to be. The only other thing I want to do here while we have the grips off is, and actually, so what I'm doing here is I am making sure that, since I'm a little bit particular, I like my levers being at the same height. This one's a little bit high, so that needs shifted down a little bit. I believe those are 8mm sockets. It's unfortunate. My favorite little ratchet is kind of messed up. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Sorry, too many cat lovers out there. Sure. That's right where it needs to be there. So now, go ahead and tighten those back up. Okay. All right, so got everything that we ordered on except for the carb rebuild kits and the trip machine grips. Just for the heck of it, I'm gonna go ahead and put the grips on, and then we'll try to get her to fire, and then if still to no avail, then we'll go down the rabbit hole of yanking the carbs, getting those cleaned up. So, never before have I used trip machine grips. However, they're out of India. However, I'm impressed so far with the packaging, just from a branding perspective. You got a nice little sticker pack here with a thank you sticker, and then it's a personal thank you from the owner. Instructions. Yeah, product instructions. That's pretty neat. And then you get the actual grips. So they give you some super glue, which I assume is for the ends, and then you get this thin leather strip that you just wrap all the way around your bar, and go from there. Peel the 3M tape off, stick it on, and then that should give you your cushion. So it'll be interesting to see how this works or looks once it's on. Okay, everybody, so I wanted to look up how to do this to make sure that it was okay to just do as this. Make sure that I'm doing it the correct way, really, is what I'm getting at. And what you want to do is make sure your bars are cleaned off. You can lay these over grips if you'd like. We don't have other grips, so we're just going to do the bars like so. So you'll start peeling off the 3M tape. And I'm going to start this somewhere like right in here on the underside. Press firmly, and it says to pull the tape as you wrap around, and you want to pull tight while you're doing this. Having some sharp scissors while you're doing this, or just a regular knife would be easier. Okay. So now that that is wrapped around like so, what you're going to do is grab your tape, or not your tape, your super glue, and you're just going to hold it on while it's still drying, that sort of thing. Now do the same exact process over here on the other side. Okay, grips are on. Super excited about how those look. I think those look fantastic, actually. So that's awesome. Okay, now that that's done, let's go ahead and see if we can't get her to fire. Okay, we have a bit of fuel left in the line. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that screw out there. See if we can't get any fuel flow into this and get her to run. Okay, we got fuel to the carbs. Okay. Here we go. Here goes nothing. Oh, we need choke though. That might help. Okay. Let's turn the idle up on this. We are going to go ahead and take the pod filters off. That way I can spray a little ether in there. And see if that doesn't help. So, doesn't look like the choke mechanism is fully working. Let's try it now. If I hold it closed manually. Still nothing. Okay, let's just keep going with the plan to try some ether. That's a start. I wish the camera would have been pointing the other direction because a huge cloud of smoke just went flying out that way. But that's huge. So now we just got to get it to stay running, which probably means getting into the carbs. But it sounded like it was drowning a little bit there once. I don't know. Try to fire it up again. definitely getting too much fuel. So I have to dive into that issue, but that's huge. That's exciting. So stoked about that. We're going to dive into that. Probably go ahead and get the carbs all taken care of in the next video, just because I'm sure this is probably going on a little bit long already. But we did get the grips. We got the both grips done. We got all the hardware mounted for the tank, the seat, and what else? And then the radiator. So that's good. Really, that's good. So that just leaves the carbs now. Carbs and then the front brake that's just hanging. So hopefully we can get to the bottom of that too. Hopefully that's not seized and we're able to make it work. But super, super excited that we've actually got it to fire. That's huge. So, alrighty. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching another one of my videos. It means the world to me. Hit that like, comment, subscribe button down below. Hit that bell notification so you're notified anytime I post and upload. Your support means the world to me, and would really appreciate it if you guys leave a comment, especially. Just tell me how I'm doing. Tell me if you like the content. And yeah, so thank you, though, for following along. All right, until next time, guys. Bye.